Today I stand before you to discuss an issue that plagues far too many of us, the issue of being controlled. This subject transcends boundaries, whether it's political, social, personal, or even in our own minds. It's a silent force that shapes decisions, curtails creativity, limits potential, and stifles individuality. It's time for a change. It's time to stop being controlled. Let's start by understanding what we mean by control. Control can come from many sources, external forces such as authority, society, relationships, or media. It can also arise from within our own fears, insecurities, and doubts. These forces, when allowed to dominate, limit our freedom. When we're controlled, we feel small. We become prisoners of someone else's agenda, trapped in cycles of compliance, conformity, and fear. But freedom is what lies beyond the control. Freedom is the ability to make your own decisions, follow your own path, and live life on your terms. It's not always easy to break free from control. We live in a world full of expectations, pressures, and demands. Whether it's the societal standards of success, the influence of social media, or even the pressure from friends and family, we often find ourselves living for others, not for ourselves. Let's first look at external sources of control. Society plays a significant role in shaping who we are and how we act. It sets standards for beauty, success, wealth, and even happiness. We're bombarded with these ideals from every direction: billboards, television, social media, movies, and even the people around us. From a young age, we're taught to fit into boxes. We're told that to be successful, we need to look a certain way, dress a certain way, or achieve certain milestones at certain ages. The constant exposure to these societal norms creates pressure, and unfortunately, many of us end up living a life that isn't truly ours. We forget to ask ourselves, what do I want? Take social media, for instance. We live in an era where everyone is showcasing their best lives online. But what we often forget is that those images are curated, edited, and filtered. They're not real. But we begin to believe that they are. We start comparing ourselves to others and measure our worth based on these distorted standards. In the workplace, the pressure to succeed can also become a form of control. The constant hustle, the need to climb the corporate ladder, the demands for perfection, these all create a sense of inadequacy. We begin to question our value, believing that our worth is only measured by the titles we hold, paycheck we receive, or the recognition we get from others. This is where we must step back and say no more. We must stop being controlled by these external forces. It's time to redefine success on our own terms. Success doesn't have to look like anyone else's version. It's not about conforming to someone else's idea of what your life should be. It's about creating a life that aligns with your own values, desires, and dreams. While external control is overwhelming, internal control can be just as insidious. Internalized fear, doubt, and insecurity often keep us from stepping out of the box and living authentically. How often have we said to ourselves, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough? These thoughts are self-imposed barriers that prevent us from realizing our potential. The truth is, you are good enough, you are worthy of success, love, and happiness. But the first step to unlocking this truth is to silence those voices of doubt within your own mind. You need to take control of your thoughts. Not allow them to control you. This requires practice and patience, but it is possible. In fact, the most powerful form of control we can have is self-control. We must take charge of our own narrative. We have to recognize that our thoughts shape our reality. If we continue to think of ourselves as small or incapable, then that is how we will show up in the world. But if we start believing in our own strength and potential, then we begin to create a new reality, one where we are in control. The journey to self-empowerment requires shedding limiting beliefs. These beliefs may have been formed early in life, perhaps by well-meaning parents or teachers who unknowingly impose their own limits on us. But as adults, we must recognize that we are no longer bound by those beliefs. We are free to create new ones. Fear is one of the most potent tools of control. It keeps us stuck in place, paralyzed by the possibility of failure, rejection, or judgment. Fear prevents us from taking risks, from stepping into the unknown, and from living life to its fullest. But fear is a liar. Fear tells us that we can't do something, that we're not smart enough, talented enough, or strong enough to succeed. It convinces us that we are safer in the comfort of our current situation, no matter how miserable it may be, than in the uncertainty of change. Fear keeps us from chasing our dreams, from pursuing what we truly desire. To break free, we must confront our fears head-on. We need to stop letting fear control us. Instead, we must learn to use fear as a compass, not as a cage. When fear arises, that's often the very moment we need to move forward. It's a signal that we are on the edge of something new, something greater. When we face our fears, we realize that the consequences are rarely as catastrophic as our minds lead us to believe. Failure is not the end, it's simply a stepping stone on the path to success. Every failure teaches us something valuable, something that will help us grow. One of the most important aspects of breaking free from control is recognizing that you have the power of choice. Every day, we make choices that shape our lives. What we wear, who we associate with, what we do with our time, all of these are choices. The most empowering realization is that you are the author of your own story. You don't have to let anyone else write it for you. You can choose to take control of your life. This means making decisions based on your own values, your own passions, and your own vision for the future. It's easy to feel like life is happening to us, especially when we face challenges or setbacks. But the truth is, we always have a choice. We can choose to remain stuck, or we can choose to break free. We can choose to continue down the path we're on, or we can choose to create a new one. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that there won't be obstacles, but it does mean that we have the power to choose how we respond to those challenges. We can choose resilience. We can choose growth. We can choose freedom. In conclusion, the time has come for us to stop being controlled. Whether it's the external pressures of society or the internal limitations we've placed on ourselves, we must recognize that we are the only ones who can truly take charge of our lives. We must break free from the chains of fear, doubt, and societal expectations. We must embrace our power to make choices, to create our own path, and to live authentically. The road to freedom may not be easy, but it is worth it. The only true way to live is to live on your own terms. So I ask you today, what are you waiting for? Take control. Break free from the constraints that hold you back. The world is waiting for you to step into your power. The only thing standing between you and your freedom is the decision to take the first step. Thank you.